I'm Zeph from T2Wine and welcome to Adventure Ride Chat, the place where all bikes are adventure and where the chat starts here with me and continues with all of us down in that comment area. And this week I have a question. It's time for you to get a new ride. Should you buy a new bike or should you buy a used bike? Well, let's keep one thing in mind. If you're gonna do adventure biking, most likely you're gonna be doing modifications to your bike. So that first instinct of saying yes, buy a new bike might be wrong. Or at least before you buy it, go and ask your dealer if the modifications you want to do will void the warranty or not. Because if they do void the warranty, well, so the real question is, how do you pick a very good second-hand deal? First, buying a second-hand bike is an educated guess, but it is a guess. So always keep that in mind. But let's try and divide this into topics. First topic, decide the bike that you want to buy. As long as you decided the bike you want, you can do some research on that bike. Because it's been a bike, like many others that have been in production, it means that the large majority of problems they have, they're known. Both the problems and the solutions. So when you do a little bit of research, when you do a little bit of homework and you go and see the bike that you're gonna buy, and that might be tip number 2, don't ever buy a bike that you did not get a chance at least to hear running. I'm not saying necessarily do a test drive, do if you can, but at least hear the engine working. But with the homework, you know what you're searching for. If it doesn't have the large majority of problems that are known, well, there's a strong chance that it's not gonna have a lot of problems, and the problems that it's gonna have are gonna come from Hughes. So let's discuss Hughes. Let's do some math on this. Let's say the bike has 5 years and has done 15,000 kilometers. That averages around 250 kilometers a month. That's not a lot, but let's say on the other hand you have a 5-year-old bike that has done 1,000 kilometers. As far as I'm concerned, that bike hasn't run. I cannot predict the problems that that bike is gonna have. Anything from busted, corroded, dry O-rings to completely rusted and dry bearings. It's impossible to know. A bike that runs has predictable problems, and predictable problems can be budgeted. Yes, a second-hand bike will have a more expensive maintenance than a new bike, for sure. But it is predictable maintenance. But let's go back to what we should choose. Who would you choose to play sports with you? A guy that's every day at the gym doing at least half an hour to an hour of cardio, or a guy that sits on the couch and just plays fantasy league? You need the guy that works out. Same thing with the bike. You need the guy that works out. Not the pro athlete, because pro athletes, well, too much is too much. They're gonna have different kind of problems. So a bike that does a lot of track days, a bike that does a lot of off-road, a bike that works in extremes, no bueno. So you've chose your motorcycle, you test rode it, what to do now? Well, what I do with my used bikes as soon as I get them is at least an oil change on the engine, on the brakes, and a replacement of the filters. That will get the bike, as far as I'm concerned, new. What I want is my own maintenance. So when I buy a bike, I know the price, and I know the price of oil changes, of filter changes, and that's from the get-go part of the budget. So that's done, and now the other things come with age. So let's break this down fast and just to put it in topics. First, don't forget to check all the common problems that your bike for your year have. Be prepared. Second, make sure that you at least see the bike running. Don't buy anything out of Craigslist just because the price was right and you ask someone to ship it to you. Go, see, and if you can, test drive. 3. Budget for spare parts. Budget for maintenance. Budget for the things you know a bike with that age is gonna need. 4th, make sure that you zero that maintenance schedule. So make sure that at least the oils and the filters you replaced, so you're 100% sure that now you're within the scheduled maintenance that the bike is gonna need. And 5, have fun with your bike. But before you go, don't forget to hit subscribe, to hit that little bell so you can get the notifications, to hit that big thumbs up, to leave your comments down below to tell me what your experience is with buying used bikes. And of course, we're gonna be here next Saturday.